Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sinking Simulator. My name is Steven Marcateros, and today I have two brand new ships to show you, as well as some really cool stuff to talk about, and we can sink them in many different fashions, so don't think that this is going to be a boring episode. We have a ton of super duper exciting stuff, and I know I'm using some great adjectives right now, but yeah, it's going to be all around a pretty darn fun time. Right in front of us, we are looking at the MS World Discoverer, which is one of the ships that we had built a while ago. And I think it's nice to start off with some of the things that we know, and we can talk about some of the things that we've been doing. Alright, so we can look at sort of these modern ship designs that I've been making, and they've gotten larger, and they have a lot of compartments now. So we can see stuff like this, where we have this compartment right here, and then we also have that opening into this compartment where it can enter into everything else. And this is starkly different from any other design that we've ever done before this ship, basically, of where we didn't have those sort of little entry hatches in order to get into different places. And having that really allows the ship to sink in a much more realistic way, because, you know, in real life, you don't have those humongous blocking sections preventing you from really, you know, having the water flood through there. I mean, unless you're on the Titanic, I was going to say, but then I realized that some of those doors that were supposed to make that watertight had ended up failing. So, yeah, I've also gone with making the deck mostly, you know, kind of transparent of where the water can flood in, and that really hurts it, because once the water sort of starts flowing up onto the deck, the whole thing is pretty much going down, because that's a significant amount of water. And you'd have to figure that once the deck started to go underwater, your ship would be having a couple issues. You know, this isn't exactly a jet ski we're talking about here. We're talking about a humongous cruise ship. So yeah, this thing can pretty much stay up on its own. However, I'll help it out a little bit. I'll make it a little bit heavier. So yeah, Fred has done a really fantastic job building this game. He hasn't made any too recent changes, and that's sort of because we haven't been talking about it, because Dodge Them All has been going through a pretty fantastic restructuring as we know it. Or I guess sort of like a rebrand. We've changed some of the styles of the channel. We changed the channel art. We got someone on board to talk about, you know, creative stuff, and so we can get that undertaken in a much more effective manner. We unlisting hundreds of YouTube videos. We've put up, I say, like 1,000 YouTube videos or something. It's pretty crazy, and it's pretty insane. But, you know, many of those videos don't reflect the kind of quality that we put out these days. So we need to take those down. We have to have, you know, reviews and stuff. We have to have people to do that, and it's a very labor-intensive process. So I think of very much. You've actually met this guy before. His name is Justin. He was in one of the minigame videos, and he's also, I've done some series with him. If you were around for Saving Minecraftia a very long time ago, you were around for that. Which was a lot of fun back in the day, but it's one of those series that's going down, because obviously it isn't that, you know, fantastic of a series. There's been many other great series that have been created that have been far better than Saving Minecraftia. I mean, really just any other Minecraft series. I think that one I even did where I made that mod pack was an even better series than Saving Minecraftia. So yeah, this ship is it's pretty much sinking on its own from here on out. The whole thing is pretty much going down. I know, normally I would like delete it and start spawning different ships, but a lot of you like to complain when I end up doing that, and you're all like, oh, but I want to see it for myself because I can't get the game to run on my computer. That's also something I could probably talk about right now. So, Sinking Simulator, I believe you can still get it from a download link that's going to be in the description of this video. I do believe I've also put up a video, or my brother has put up a video about how to actually install the game on your Windows 10 or Windows 7 PC. If you're on a Mac or you're running Linux, which apparently most people that visit my website are running Linux somehow. I have no idea how that occurs. But if you're running that, I can't help you there. I don't know. And if the game doesn't run on your Windows machine, well, then I really don't know. Some of the controls, you know, right-click basically is a grab and drag. WASD is your more traditional style movement like that, which is fantastic. And so, yeah, that's pretty much how Sinking Simulator works. You can also grab a ship pack. There's also a video about how to install a ship pack, too. There's videos for everything out there these days, you know. YouTube is one of those places where there's so many darn tutorials for every little thing that you're doing that sometimes, you know, you gotta Google search it for yourself. I know somebody who, like, does not know how to use Google at all, and I would not want to be him, because it seems like he walks around and he asks so many questions, because, I mean, it's like, man, just go look it up yourself, you know? If you want to know what's good about a computer, you know, I mean, just Google search it. I mean, basically, I built all of my computers that I've ever used. Well, I mean, prior to the ones that I was purchased when I was young, but everything since I started this YouTube channel, I've built on my own, and I only did that through YouTube tutorials. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you can learn a lot of stuff through YouTube. Almost everything about computers, processor speeds, different processor types, GPU processing, all that kind of stuff, all from YouTube. So it goes to show that if you need to learn something like how to sink a ship, all you gotta do is just watch a YouTube tutorial, and you can figure out how to do it for yourself. So yeah, I guess that's a nice little plug for my own channel right there. So yeah, but enough with this old stuff. Let's spawn in something new. So you may remember one of the biggest ship disasters in recent history was if you've guessed it right now, the Costa Concordia, which I do believe sunk off the coast of Italy. The captain was a little bit negligent, decided to take the cruise ship a little bit too close to shore, and he sort of scraped it a little bit, and then the whole thing kind of slid on its side. And there's a whole thing about he decided to get off before everyone else was off the ship, and he wasn't in any clear and present danger, and blah blah blah. And then I think he went to prison too, and he might still be in prison. But yeah, I have done my best to rebuild the Costa Concordia in Sinking Simulator. I hope you guys like it. I know you're all probably going to hate it. I couldn't really tell you anything about the ship. I've never been on it, of course, because it sunk, and then they had to salvage it. But yeah, let's just get into sinking. So I've really tried to embody that whole design style where we do the compartmentalized thing, and you can see all these things are all interconnect with each other, and there's so many different ways you can sink it. It's super fun to do. All right, so it's starting to flood into that second compartment right there, and it's a nice little decent ship, and it kind of reminds me of well, I'm not sure. It reminds me of the real life sinking simulator. There's something I've really wanted to do actually, which is sort of designed one of those multi-tiered style ships of where you have the different compartments, or you have, I guess, just more than one part of the ship where you have a second deck. And I've never been able to do that, and I've really wanted to undertake that in real life sinking simulator, which is something that's going to be it's going to be hard to undertake, because I mean that kind of project is going to require having some pretty precise craft sticks, which I don't have. The craft sticks I have are from 1973. Some of these craft sticks are some of the most bent things I have ever seen, and trust me, I've seen some pretty bent things in my days. But yeah, I just don't have a whole lot of real time in order to do that kind of stuff. And I say real time, like this is fake time right now. You're in fake time. Don't check how many minutes are left on this YouTube video. You want to be here for all of it. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of things in life outside of YouTube work recently. So I guess forensics is one of the things that consumes a lot of my time. I'm more of an extemporaneous kind of speaker, of where I like to use some information and then try to make an argument about that in as short amount of time as possible. I find forensics to be a very valuable experience for myself, because it really allows you to improve your talking. You got to think on your feet as well as use facts that you've researched beforehand. So it encourages me to have a treasure trove of information before I decide to start talking about something, which I think is very, very important if you are actually going to try and debate something. But yeah, it gets very political at times, and politics in the United States has been very, very divisive in recent days. I'm probably starting a political flame war down in the comments right now, but I'm gonna shy away from that right now. My head of creative development advised me not to talk about politics at all, even though that was one of the primary ideas behind the live action episodes that we're doing on Sundays now. So just fantastic. So tell me if you guys have done anything with vocal forensics down below. I'd really like to know actually what you guys are doing, and I'd like to see some of the rationale behind the other categories that exist within high school forensics, or I guess even college forensics, but I don't think very many college students really watch this YouTube channel. So yeah, it's fun. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I got to gather a lot of sources yet tonight. Just a lot of stuff going on in general. My chemistry teacher doesn't help, of course, because he does yell at us a lot. I know he doesn't watch my YouTube videos because I think he personally hates me, but yeah, it's that kind of thing that you just don't really need to go off of. But so yeah, the Costa Concordia. It's a fantastic ship. It sank a while ago. It was a nice ship of what I heard of it. However, it did kind of break all over the news. So yeah, it's a really fantastic thing, and I do like the way that sort of we have all this, and it sort of it sinks with relative speed. I normally turn up the flood speed to be something a little bit faster than this. I don't like sitting around like all day. Because when you have the flood speed too low, it starts to get more, I guess, gelatinous than it does watery, because normal water will sink and rise with like the waves and stuff, especially if it's like in a object within the water. So it'll tend to follow that pattern. However, if you have the flood speed really low, it's just like gelatin. It just kind of chills there for a while until it finally flows back out. And it gets there eventually. But yeah, that's the Costa Concordia, everybody. Of course, we didn't end up sinking it in the same exact way as the Costa Concordia itself actually sunk. Big surprise there. I can't really run it against the ground in this game, because the ground is just a gigantic flat surface as far as the eye can see. It's massive. I don't even know why the scale of this game is so large, but that's probably something with the programming, and you could talk to Fred about that one. I do like how you can control the waves, though. We can make them really tall and then really wide. So these are some really intense waves. These are like hurricane-style kind of waves. I mean, they're just massive. Very, very beautiful waves. But yeah, that's the Costa Concordia. That's how that... So you guys can... I'll put that in the ship pack, and you can download that however you would like to. All right, so the other ship that I ended up building recently was the MS Estonia. I've never actually heard of this ship before, I guess, yesterday. Apparently, I didn't know this, it was one of the worst maritime disasters to ever occur in the 20th century, along with the Titanic. I think it was the second worst, right after the Titanic. And I think I've seen other versions of the ship constructed. I'm not sure if mine's actually better. Mine looks... I'm going to go pretty terrible on this. It's not the best looking ship I've ever built, and that is, of course, because it is a ferry, and it did ferry people as a ferry, because that's what ferries do. So, yeah, it kind of has a strange structure of not how I'm really used to build things, because a lot of the stuff is the not pre-20th century, the early 20th century kind of style builds, which I'm getting quite good at nowadays. That's pretty much the one I can build right off the bat, no matter what happens. Is this actually broken? Yeah, it's already appears to have broken on its own. So, actually, how the ship sunk was intense waves, actually. They battered the doors open, the bow doors, and then the water got into the deck, and once that started sloshing around in waves, it couldn't really control itself, and because it wasn't properly weighted, the whole thing was sort of listing to starboard anyway, and so everything just listed over 90 degrees and then eventually capsized, and I think about 850 people died. It was a really terrible accident. Many people couldn't actually get to the life rafts. I think the life rafts weren't actually that great either. And along with that, I mean, just the fact that everything happened so late, they didn't realize that everything was sinking, and it was kind of just too late to do anything. That they didn't really call a mayday out too effectively. But yeah, so this ship is designed to be probably better than the actual ship was. So. This is probably one of the best ships I've actually built in terms of sinking. So that one pierce we did in the front, or I guess I didn't really do, doesn't actually sink the ship. I know, that's kind of strange, because normally you think all the ships I build, just one hit and they're all down for the count. But in this case, no, I've actually designed it so that it doesn't overflood when that happens. You have to, I think, flood up to 4 compartments before it really just starts to sink down. Once you have the deck in the front under the water, or you have these windows and back underwater, that is when things go downhill. Yep, we can start to see it sort of starting to sit in the water a little bit deeper. I don't think the waves are still going to get up to the deck. We might have to pierce one more compartment. But yeah, these things really got to take on quite a lot of water before they decide to take a sink. So let's give it sort of an unfair, sinking. So let's say it got really damaged, hitting 3 different places. This is probably going to be bad for it. I don't think it's going to survive this too well. Yep, it's starting to take on some serious water. Yep, we have stuff. Ooh, someone on Skype asking me, hey, are you busy? I'm recording a sinking simulator episode right now. Yes, I'm busy. Of course, I'm not actually going to say that to him, so I'm just going to, exit onto that. Oh, I hope Skype doesn't stay up there on the bottom and be like, hey, bro, you're recording a YouTube video, but I need you to check this message. And yep, okay, we got rid of that finally. All right, is it going to sink? Yeah, it's going to sink. Yeah, we're starting to get the compartments out here in the front that are going down, and that's not very good at all. Unfortunately, these people on the ship didn't have the kind of great weather that Wisconsin's having right now. I feel very unfortunate for them, because most of them are going to die of either drowning or freezing to death, a combination of the both. Okay, Bill Diamond. I know you want to play Cards Against Humanity. I don't have the time for that. I'm recording a sinking simulator episode. All right, I'm probably gonna actually end up talking to him anyway. He's gonna be like, "Hey man, I was mentioned in one of your videos. That's so cool," and that is pretty cool. I'm glad to have provided you with that opportunity. Yeah, of course. If you want to add me on Skype, make sure you hit me up. My name is Stardust01233. I think you can also search for Stephen M. You'll probably also find me, but that's gonna be my name. I was gonna have some. I don't know what the picture actually is. I don't know if it's of me. I think it's of me. You'll find a recent picture of me, and it'll probably be like some like ridiculous comment, like "Happy New Year, everybody," even though it's like the middle of February. That's kind of the way that that whole recording works. But as we can see, this ship has seen better days. The whole thing is beginning to really sink down now. It's starting to flood through a lot of different areas, especially as it gets into these back compartments. It just kind of starts to sink in general. Yep, the front is really tipping down. I just love the gravity of this game. I mean, look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful gravity that has. It's going at 90-degree angles, but it isn't going with respect to the direction of gravity. Acceleration due to gravity, one of the most fantastic forces that exists. But yep, that's the MS Estonia, everybody. So that's our dose of Sinking Simulator for the week. We're gonna start weekly Sinking Simulator episodes. The start is pretty much putting everything on weekly. So every Saturday, you're gonna be able to come back here and see an episode of Sinking Simulator, and I hope to see you then because it's gonna be a lot of fun. There was a contest that we started a while ago. I'm probably gonna have you send an email to let's go with ship at dodgethem.all.com. So if you send those ships that you had already submitted to the contest, I'm going to need you to resubmit those to ship at dodgethem.all.com. And everything on that account I will probably end up showing off next week or the week after that, and we will also select a winner, and all the ships will go into the ship pack. So yeah, just email all of your ships to ship at dodgethem.all.com, and I'll have someone sort through them, and then I will play with them and see which one is the best. All right, so thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more, make sure you click that subscribe button that exists down below, right underneath the video. You know where it is. You've probably been watching YouTube for a while. Otherwise, give us a thumb and tell us how you are doing in the comment section. It's always a fantastic thing to see you. Make sure you tell me about that whole forensics deal, and if you've done anything in forensics, because I'd love to know more about that. My name is Stephen Marcateros, and I will see you guys next time.